Every year during Halloween Horror Nights, we wear costumes on Halloween, and last year I was the baby face killer, and I was chasing my friends around with a plastic knife.
Oh no. Take off your mask. Oh no!
So, we are going to be taking a little break from our regularly scheduled program of weird little short films, and I thought it would be fun to take this opportunity to talk about Halloween Horror Nights because sadly it was canceled this year. Ugh. I cried when I found out it got canceled. I cried my eyes out. I was so sad. I am still very sad. Today is, well, I mean, you're watching this on Sunday, but I'm filming this on Friday, and had Horror Nights not been canceled, I would have been scaring people today. But instead, I'm just going to be talking about my glory days. So, I started doing Halloween Horror Nights in 2016. That was my first year. I went to the audition, and I had been to Universal auditions before, and I had never gotten a call back. And I just felt like, you know what? I'm just going to do it because I had never auditioned for Horror Nights before, and I love horror and I love scary stuff. So I went to the audition, and
I've got a golden ticket.
I got a golden ticket. I couldn't believe it, you know? I was like, I've never done well in any of these auditions. Unfortunately, I can't talk about the audition and what happens and what they asked me to do because I signed a paper saying that I wouldn't ever talk about it. So we're just going to skip that part. But I made it through, and I ended up working 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019. Oh, this year would have been my 5th year had it not gotten canceled, but I'm so sad. But anyway, this is going to be 2 parts. So for this video, I'm going to talk about 2016 and 2017, and then on Halloween, I'll upload my 2018-2019 video. Because every year I did Halloween Horror Nights, it just got exponentially better than the year before. And like, honestly, the year I had last year, I don't think you can top that. Let's talk about 2016. Let me take you back. Go on this ride with me back to 2016. It was Obama's last year in office, and then the annoying orange got elected as president. And what else was going on in 2016? 2016 was like, it was such an innocent time, you know? Like, we just had no idea the storm that was coming, did we? But anyway, that year for Halloween Horror Nights, because I was new, and it was a really big year for new people. There was like a couple hundred scare actors who had never done Halloween Horror Nights before. There was a lot of us. And a bunch of us ended up on Terror Tram. So if you've ever been to Halloween Horror Nights and you've ever been to Terror Tram, they didn't have Terror Tram last year, but we did have, we had it the previous 3 years that I did it, and I was there, and it was themed as clowns. It was Eli Roth's Clowntasm.
Hi, beautiful. Look at Hollywood Harry. I just want to hug him. Oh no! Don't you? Oh, he did it. Oh no. That noise freaks me out. I don't know why the snorters always. Yes!
I was a burned clown. I had so much fun. It was ridiculous though. Like, the mask that I was wearing was like obviously like a white man. I'm clearly not white. Very clearly not a man. And so I have this ridiculous mask on my head. People could see like my arms, they could see my wrists and see that I'm black underneath. They could see, you know, my figure and be like, oh, that's a chick. People made a lot of comments about my body, which was weird. And I just wasn't expecting that, I guess. And I was trying to be like scary and menacing, but in hindsight, I probably did just look really ridiculous. The thing about Terror Tram is that it closed early. And it closed early because Universal has, like, just on the outskirts of, like, Universal, there are, like, residential homes. And so in order to avoid getting a noise complaint, Terror Tram would close early. So we would close at like 11:45 or like midnight or something. And the rest of the event was still going on until 2. And so if you chose at the end of the night, you could sign up to be in the pool, which a pool performer is basically like, it's an understudy. They just slide you in whenever there's openings. And so I went to Purge Tunnel a lot. And Purge Tunnel was so fun because you know, it's the tunnel between like the lower lot and the back lot. Or wait, am I saying that right? You go through the tunnel. It takes you from like the lower lot into the back lot. So you go through this tunnel. Inside the tunnel, they were just blaring this like EDM music, and there's strobe lights. You feel like you're at like a club or something. Or like, I don't know, it's like you could just walk along and just pretend you're like in a scene in a movie or something. Oh my gosh. And so for the makeup, they painted our faces, like they would paint the American flag on our faces. And for the costumes, there was 2 different ones. For the girls, there was like this like flowy shirt that was an American flag with booty shorts. And then the other one was like a red, white, and blue corset with booty shorts. And when I was walking along with my face painted with my little knife in my booty shorts and my American flag, you couldn't tell me nothing. I thought I was the baddest bee on 2 legs. It was so much fun running up on people with my knife, just freaking them out. And I would just do this thing where I would just like zoom in on somebody and I would just stare at them like, I'm coming for you. And I'd have my knife and I would like look a little bit crazy, and that would freak people out. They would see me from a distance and be like, oh no, and like run to the other side. It was so fantastic. I loved it so much. It was my favorite thing. I also, that year we had Krampus, and I got to go to Krampus a couple of times, which I loved because the set, like the maze was so pretty. It's like, I think it's like one of the like most visually pleasing mazes I've ever been inside of, because it, you know, it looked just like the house, and like the living room was really pretty, and it smelled like gingerbread. And I got to be a snowman in Krampus like a couple of times, but you're just basically inside this shell shaped like a snowman, and when people walk through, you just like push it towards them. And I also got to be an elf, which was a bit harder because the costume weighed like 1,000 pounds, and I was in this tiny closet, and I'm looking out, waiting to jump out at people. And it was awkward because you have to open the door and then get out and then scare. But then, like, I don't know, that costume was so heavy. I couldn't see out of the mask. But you know what? I did it. I freaking did it, okay? And it was great. And I loved it. That was my first year. And I never wanted it to end. I just remember just being so excited every day to show up. I would be there super early, and I met so many cool people, like a lot of people that I'm still friends with. And it was just like a really cool experience. I did not want it to end. I did not want it to be over. I love scaring people. I love freaking people out cuz I am a weirdo, okay? I am a weirdo by nature. That's just who I am as a person. So anything I can do to just like freak people out and make them feel a little bit uncomfortable, I'm totally into that. That is what I want. Yeah, when people like watch my YouTube channel and they're just like, "You're weird." And I'm like, "Yes, that is exactly the response I was looking for. Thank you." But that was 2016. So then 2017 rolls around and I audition again. And, I thought to myself, maybe I want to go for like seasonal supervisor. So I did the seasonal supervisor interview, but I didn't get it. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to scare. So I went to the audition, got a golden ticket, and I didn't hear anything for like weeks. And everybody was getting their emails like, congratulations, you're welcome to being a Scareactor or whatever. Everyone was getting their emails. I didn't get anything. And I was like, oh no, did I not get picked? Like, I have to work this event. If I don't work this event, I don't know what I might do. And so I end up, I email someone and then I get a response back and they're like, oh yeah, you are cast. We just, you're in the pool. And I was like, the pool? And I just felt a little homeless because I was like, well, last time, I was on Terror Trim. And then I can't even be on Terror Trim. Like, what am I going to do? So I show up and everybody's like getting their costume fittings and stuff. And I just remember feeling like, man, I wish I was in a maze. I wish I was in a scare zone or something. Like, I was just with this collection of actors and I just felt kind of like, I don't know what I'm going to be doing. And so on preview night, we didn't really have anywhere to go. And so we got to walk through the mazes. And like, it was the coolest thing ever because before working the event, I had never gone to Halloween Horror Nights. And so it was like getting to go without having to pay and without really having to wait in line because we worked there. And so we got to go through all the mazes and I got to go with all my friends because I was in pool with people that I had met the previous year. And so like I'm with my friends at Halloween Horror Nights getting paid to walk through the mazes. Like, it was so cool. Like our supervisors split us up into groups and we got to choose like the people we went with. And so I was with like a group of really cool people and we're like going through mazes and just having a fun time. And it was so sick. We got to go home early. Like, can you tell that like I really love this event? Like, I really love this event. So let's talk about pool performing, because I would definitely recommend anybody who wants to do Halloween Horror Nights, be in the pool, okay? If you don't get a maze or whatever that year, be in the pool, because being a pool performer is your time to shine. It's your time to impress the people who cast Halloween Horror Nights, and you can really make yourself stand out by working hard. Like, if you have a good work ethic and you work really hard, you will stand out. If you're one of those people that they know they can count on, they could send you to any maze and you could do it, you will stand out and they will remember you and you will get like better things in the future. It's super cool. But I guess that's true at like any job, if you have a good work ethic, you show up on time, you do what you're supposed to do, you do it to the best of your ability, you're gonna stand out. And it's really not hard to do because like It just depends on, like, how bad do you want it? You know, if you want it, you can get it. You can make it happen. I got to be Freddy Krueger twice. Not once, but twice. I got to be grandma. I was like a grandma Freddy Krueger or something. But I had on this Freddy mask, but the mask had like a wig on it. So anyway, I got to be like classic Freddy with the hat and everything and the striped sweater. And oh my gosh, my supervisor that year walked through. I scared the pants off of her. It was great. It was so great. It was like a fantastic scare. Like I could see the fright. I could see the pure fright in her eyes. And because I'm so full of myself, the next day I was like, yeah, I scared you. And she was like, that was you. And I was like, yeah, it was. I got you good. Oh, I got her so good. Hi, I'm back. So it's been a whole day and it's nighttime now. Okay, so I got to go to the Horrors of Blumhouse a couple of times. So Blumhouse had a mashup of like Purge. Every scare zone was Purge that year. So I got to be in the Purge part a couple of nights, and then I got to be Bagul, which I think is from the Sinister movies. I think it's from Sinister. I did not do my research. I'm a fraud. But it was basically the big like monster dude and you like push him forward at people. I would get good scares in that spot. The Shining. So I got to play a skeleton in the skeleton ballroom. There's this scene in The Shining where Jack Nicholson is like watching all these skeletons at the ball and they're like dancing. So they recreated that in the maze. And basically when you walked through, there's a bunch of skeletons and some of them are mannequins and some of them are us. And you walk through and you don't know who's who because some of us are really good at not breathing. And we had these little cans that we'd rattle. You kind of hide the can. And when people walk by, you like shake the can in their face. Oh my God. People would get so scared. The only thing that sucked about that spot is that the sets were an hour on and an hour off. And my position was in this like big comfortable chair. Not my fault that the chair was freaking comfortable, okay? It was comfortable. And there was a couple times I fell asleep. I didn't mean to fall asleep, but it was late. There was like hardly anybody coming through and we were just like waiting for people. And I would just like slowly like just like nod off a little bit or just like fall asleep. And then like internally catch myself like, oh, I'm falling asleep. And I would like jerk awake and be like, oh shit. And then I'd be looking around and like one of the other skeleton dudes was like looking at me and just like And that was really only like one night that I did that. Well, I got to go there a few times. And I only fell asleep like the one night. But I mean, I was super tired, you know, like doing that. Being a scare actor is hard. It is hard work, okay? The most glamorous part of being a scare actor is when you go to Scare Base and you sit down in the makeup chair and you're getting your makeup done and you're getting your wig if your character has a wig. That's the most glamorous part, okay? The rest of it, going out scaring people, it is not glamorous. It's hard because you're either running around in the streets until you're winded, or you're stuck in a tiny, tiny closet and you're popping out every 6 seconds for 45 minutes. Like, it's tiring when you're sweating in your own eyeballs and you're wearing a mask that has really tiny, tiny holes and you can't see anything. Your costume is adding 25 pounds of weight to your body. It's hard. Or if you're a kill, if you're getting your guts pulled out or something and you're like sitting inside of a table and you're like in agony, which is what I was basically doing when I was playing Lee. I was sitting in a chair and I'm like getting my leg chopped off. The cannibals like want to eat that thigh meat, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like sitting in the chair and I'm in agony. And it's so awkward when we had to switch because I would have to wait till there was like a break in the line. And I'm pretty sure a lot of the guests like saw us switching out, but you know, that's just the nature of the job. You know, sometimes people are just gonna see you with your pants down. That's just how it is. It's not my fault, you know. I'm the victim here. No pun intended. Pun totally intended. Pun totally intended. In conclusion, my years at Horror Nights in 2016 and 2017, freaking fantastic. I had so much fun, and the experiences I had just made me want to keep coming back. And it's just, I don't know, it's just the people that I meet. It's getting to perform, you know. Halloween Horror Nights is live theater. And I am a theater major, you know. I have a bachelor's degree in theater, and I was getting paid to do live theater. Like, that's the dream, right? It was just an amazing fun time. The people that I met, that I love all those people so much. Like, all the talented like makeup artists and all the people who come together to like plan the event, and just a really cool collection of humans. And I love all these people so much, and I miss them this year. And I've had people message me and tell me that they miss me, and I'm just like, I miss you too. Like, I can't believe we can't like scare this year. But I am not gonna cry. That is like corny. But oh, so what are some sinister things that happen? Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the BS things. BS stands for bull poop. We don't say that word on this channel. We have rules during Halloween Horror Nights as scare actors. We are not allowed to touch anybody. We are not allowed to say anything unless you get cast as a speaking role. We cannot talk. We can grunt and laugh, and we can giggle, and we can make funny sounds, but we cannot speak. We can't touch people. We have to scare and scram. Means get your scare in and then bounce. Don't stick around, because that's how you get hit. That's how problems start. It gets ugly. Scare them and get out of there. Aggressively safe. Aggressively safe. So tell me why here I am, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, my first year at Halloween Horror Nights. I'm so elated. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm an actor in Hollywood. It's preview night. I'm in my clown costume. I've got my machete. I think it was an axe. I had an axe. I have my big axe. I'm a firefighter. I'm ready to kill some people, right? It was employee preview night, so this was either it was an employee or it was the guest of an employee. Seeing how it was employee preview night, the only people in the park were employees. So, I'm on the War of the Worlds set, ready to scare people, and this drunk woman approaches me. She presses her body against mine and wedges me against the fence. So I'm like up against the fence with this woman like on me, and she's like drunk. I can smell the alcohol on her breath. It's like permeating through my mask, and she's in my face, and she's like, "Are you gonna take me down? Are you gonna take me down, huh? You gonna take me down?" And her boyfriend or whoever is like watching, and you can tell he's embarrassed, but he's also like not stepping up and stopping her. And so I put both hands up. I have my prop in one hand, and I'm like looking at her. I'm looking at the boyfriend, and I'm trying to make eye contact through the mask because it's like I can't talk to you, but you like get. And then I had to be like, and he's like, come on, babe, let's go, babe. And I'm like, sir, if you do not get your drunk girlfriend off me right now, like, what? Like, are you an employee? Are you the guest of something? Like, who brought you? See, this is why it's dangerous to bring people to the park, because you got to know who you're bringing. Like, don't bring your crazy friends to the park, because, like, if you bring somebody who does some crazy stuff and you know they're going to be crazy, maybe leave them at home. You know, maybe be like, if you want to go, like, pay your own way. I'm sorry. When I was Lee, this is so evil. So when I was Lee getting my leg cut, we have a spray gun where we spray water, and it's supposed to be like blood. So when people would walk through, if I saw some bare skin, I was going to wet it. So like girls would come through with their like midriff shirts, and I would squirt them on the belly. I would not squirt people in their face, but I would squirt their arms. If a girl's midriff was hanging out, I would shoot her belly. If a girl was wearing shorts, I'd shoot her on the thigh. I would shoot dudes on the thigh. And then I got the note from my supervisor that I was spraying too much water because someone complained. Someone complained that I was spraying too much water. And it was just the funniest thing because I'm like, it's water. You're at Universal Studios. You can't go on anything in this park and not get wet. Like, it was funny. But anyway, I covered a lot. I talked about a lot of things that were safe to talk about, that I could talk about. There's some stuff that I just will never be able to talk about, and that's just how it is. But if you have questions, if you would like to know more, then, you know, leave me a comment, leave me a like, share my video. Did you work Halloween Horror Nights? Do you want to? Let's talk about it. Remember, this is only part 1. I'm making another part on Halloween, and you can ask me questions. I'll answer the questions in that video if you want, or I'll answer in the comments and in the video. I don't know. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about Halloween Horror Nights and how much I miss it and how much I just... Okay, I need to stop. I seriously need to stop because I'm getting, like, emotional. I'm trying not to get emotional, but just talking about it is, like, bringing back all the memories and just making me, like, my body knows This is going to sound ridiculous. My body knows that it's October. My body knows that it's spooky time. Like, my monkey brain knows that I should be scaring people, but I'm not. And so there's like a cognitive dissonance going on, because like I know what the reality is, but I don't want to accept it. So I'm like, yeah, you get it. But anyway, that's all for now. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.